Well, it finally happened. After what feels like an eternity of waiting, we have details on Pokémon coming to the Nintendo Switch. Leading up to this event, there were tons of leaks, some were more accurate than others, but perhaps nothing was more accurate than people going around saying that this stuff was going to be divisive. Because from what I've been seeing on social media, yeah, certainly looks like some mixed opinions out there. So let me get this out of the way first, this Pokemon Quest deal. I will say I thought it was kind of hilarious how the official Pokemon Twitter made sure to stress that we should all turn on our notifications and then proceeded to spam us with tweets on this game. I don't know, what do you want me to say about it? I've seen a few people say it looks cute. I think it looks cheap. Very mobile-esque, which was a bit of a theme tonight, I'll admit. But yeah, it seems like they're marketing it as a very kid-friendly. They say it's for trainers of all ages. You use these power stones to, I guess, power up your Pokemon. But it looks like you're mostly just running around and killing stuff. The big issue I had with this was this right here. Free to start. When I said I don't want mobile games on Nintendo Switch, this kind of stuff is my big concern. If I know one thing about video games, nothing is free. I don't like the sound of it, but I guess this game releases today, so by the time this video goes live, perhaps many of you have already played it and can make up your own minds, so I'm not going to really spend much time on it. And then we have the meat and potatoes of this thing. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. It was rumored that these games were going to be tied to Pokemon Go in some way, which made me nervous right from the start. And damn, it was even more Pokemon Go than I expected. You know, first, let's stress this. This is not, I repeat, this is not the next big, major core Pokemon game. They clarified that the, I guess, real next game will be released sometime in 2019, which I think will serve as a relief to many hardcore fans who were dreading this return to Gen 1. From what we got today and knowing that there is still a core Pokemon game on the way, I feel safe in assuming that the next game will be the start of a brand new generation, and yeah, you still have a while to wait for it, but it's on the way nonetheless. And that actually alleviates my biggest fear, which was that the next mainline entry was going to be rushed out the door. So if you have to, look at these games as sort of padding, perhaps, until we get to that next one. Alright, so enough delaying. Pokemon Let's Go. It appears that the catching mechanic is straight out of Pokemon Go, at least what they showed. When people were catching Pokemon in this trailer, it was simply them just throwing the Pokeball at them. I'm definitely not a fan of that. A big part of the Pokemon games, in my opinion, well, is obviously capturing them, but playing that game of weakening them, maybe putting some status effects on them to get them to that point where they'll stay in the ball without killing them. Catching Pokemon in Pokemon Go got old really fast for me in that respect. Like, oh, just throw Pokeballs at them until they stay in. Yeah, there's like the food or whatever you could give them, but don't even try to pretend that catching Pokemon here is even in the same league as a mainline game. It's just not. However, I have to admit, I kind of liked that Pokeball peripheral. Now, I really feel for the parents out there. I think there are going to be many of these things getting thrown through TVs across the world. Them damn kids always forgetting to put on the wrist straps. The videos will be fun to watch at least. But this is really something that taps into that kid in me. Like I've said in previous videos about Pokemon, I haven't been a fan of this franchise really for a long time. But seeing this brings me right back to being a kid, watching the anime in the morning before school, and watching Ash do his whole shtick, turning the cap, winding up, and throwing that Pokeball. What kid didn't want to do that themselves? And I'll even go as far to say, I even thought it was cool hearing the Pokemon inside the ball. Now, I'm getting one of those damn things myself, I'll just say it. Now, the one thing that really has my attention with this game, though, was this bit of trainer battling we saw. This was not like Pokemon Go. This looked very core Pokemon. They had all their moves listed out. It appeared that it was turn-based. This, in my opinion, is where this game has the ability to really be a game. And this really is where almost all of my questions stem from. You know, with the battling stuff, how deep is it? How does this play into powering up your Pokemon, if at all? We saw you could do this battling cooperatively with a partner. The whole game, in fact, looks like it can be played with a friend. So how does 2 players affect all this? With it interacting with Pokemon Go, we know you can transfer at least your Gen 1 characters over. Will they keep their power levels from Pokemon Go, or will it sort of be reset? It looks like they can have a full moveset in these Let's Go games, which they couldn't in Pokemon Go, so I doubt it would be just a straight transfer. Something has to go down with moving these guys back and forth. Also, speaking of Pokemon Go, what is going to be the draw for those who are already far along in that game already? Obviously, they're looking to pull in a lot of those players. That's why they're, making this game so similar. But say you've been playing it hardcore the whole time it's been out. You may have all of, or close to all of the original Pokemon. Beyond just transferring them into this game, what's the point? Is it to do all this battling? Essentially, there are still way too many questions for me with this game to make a judgment on exactly how I feel about it. But here's something I will say. When we were hearing word that this was going to be a Gen 1 remake of sorts, I said multiple times that I understand why they would do that. To pull in new fans as well as to pull in lapsed fans. And I think that same reasoning still holds true for this game. Its casual hook may get more people on board a la Pokemon Go. And perhaps for the people who play Pokemon Go but aren't really into core Pokemon, this could be the game that bridges that gap. No matter what, I'm gonna buy this. I'm eager to see how this is all gonna play out. And apparently, like Pokemon Go, you can set a companion Pokemon to sort of follow you around, and they even show someone using my boy Gengar. So just running around, exploring a new Pokemon game with him is worth it for me. But yeah, in terms of things like price and that, I'd love to discuss this game being $60 while Pokemon Go is free to play. But I really can't make any calls on that until I have a full rundown of what is going on with this game. It seems like there's not just too much unknown, but too many possibilities from what I've seen. After seeing that battling stuff, I have to know how deep that rabbit hole goes. Anyway, with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on all this new Pokemon news in the comments. Are you planning to play Pokemon Let's Go, or are you just going to hold off for that next mainline game? As always, I'm John Zakari, and thanks for watching.